Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Saturday the 5th of July. Well, I apologise for the sound in the last one, but actually I could actually hear it okay on my phone, but terribly on my laptop. So I'm briefly going to go into it because there is a non-runner in the 3:15 at Haydock. The non-runner is Humble Spark, but I had a quick flick through because I think it's too big a race to ignore, and it's probably the main race of the day, barring group races. So I'm going to talk you through the selections very briefly again. I'm not going to like just keep rabbiting on. So it's a 5 pence each way Goliath. So what I did, I cashed out on the other one for a small loss, very small. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. And then I've placed the bet again. So the first selection is Mirall. It's in the 130 at Haydock. It's 9 runners. There's no extra place race in this one. So it ran a really good race from the front. Mirall did. Let's start again. So I was going to show you, but problem is the screenshot is too small. So yes, like I said, I believe it was first in a group of 6 racing down the centre at Ascot. It ran a decent race, can't knock it for that. Richard Fahey, I can never get Richard Fahey right, to be fair, but it's interesting the fact that it's 100 to 30 favourite, decent prize money, decent day's racing. I believe it's Warren Fentiman on board. Could be wrong. I'll have a quick look. I'm not backing it because of Warren Fentiman, but yes, it's that man, Warren Fentiman, on board. Apologise, it's not the best of videos. Didn't really think about what I was doing at the time. So, yeah, Mirror, it should run well. It's 130. We're looking for a good start in each way Goliath. The last thing we want really is it being on place, but fingers crossed. The second selection is along the same lines. We want a decent start, and the second selection is Kurdos. It's in the 150 at Sandown. Ran a decent race last time at a big price. It was keen, still made ground. It's trained by Clive Cox, and I think it's got a cracking chance. It was backed into favourite at one point. Not quite sure what price it is now. It was 11 to 4 last night. I'm probably guessing it's roughly about the same price, but that was 11 to 4 on Sky Bet, so it wouldn't surprise me. It's probably about 12s now, knowing Sky Bet being tight the night before. But no, I'm just joking. It could be 11 to 4. 130 maybe, but yeah, we're looking for these first two. Ideally, we need a good start. Be great if the first two won, but we definitely need them placing at minimum. Otherwise, it's a lot of bets down on small prices. The next selection, I really like the look of this one still. It's High Royal in the 225 at Sandown. Well handicapped. The problem is it's in and out. Um, if it runs its race, it's going to be prominent throughout. In my opinion, hard to pass. When it gives its running, it's normally in touch. So I'm expecting it needs to be no worse than fourth. Ideally, I'd like to see um, a leader, obviously a leader on the inside, and this one about 3/4 a length or a length down in second. Um, Not a crazy pace, a sensible pace, and then hopefully stick its elbows out, kick on from the front, and hopefully, with it being a slightly biggish field, they might get in each other's way in behind, and it should hopefully hang on for a place. It was currently 12 to 1. Apparently, it's been 28 to 1. I'm not quite so sure about that, but I do think it's got a chance. Maybe the 28's down to 12 tells you it's got a chance. But yeah, it's off a decent handicap mark. And it is one of my, Kevin Ryan trains it and he's been in and out for a very long time now. Jim Crowley's on board. A lot of people don't like Jim Crowley. He's fine for me. I always think he rides sensible races. If they're going too fast, he won't be near the pace. Um, that's in general. Hopefully, he gives it a sensible ride, and I think it's got a decent chance. Right, the next selection, I need to own up and be honest about this one. I chose the wrong horse, but the horse originally that I chose that I meant to choose is non-runner now. So I've looked at this horse thinking, like, can I give it a chance? And yeah, I can. Unfortunately, it's 2 places only now instead of 3. Um, it isn't trained by Andrew Baldwin, and it's not his second string like I mentioned originally. It's actually Ed Walker, but Ed Walker's got a number of decent chances today. So I'm thinking is he actually throwing everything, not at the wind, but is he thinking that, is he going to have a good day basically? And I think he could do. Um, and hopefully this one runs a race. It's 15-2, and it's about the fifth horse in the betting, so it needs to book its ideas up from its last two runs. But I believe 3 runs ago it ran an absolute cracker. Back to the drawing board. Hopefully Kieran Shearmark gives it a good ride. It was too keen last time, but it was 7-2 in a Group 3, so it tells me that it was expected to run well. Even and I was more interested in the fact that it was 7-2 on its last run, even though it had disappointed on its previous run, the as it finished the season the year before. So yeah, I think it's talented, but it needs to book its ideas up. Well, it certainly does now because I've backed it. Right, this is the replacement for Humble Spark, and I tell you what, it's got a right chance. It's absolutely. I don't know how I overlooked it, and it's James Owen again. I hate to try and tell you the jockey when I don't know who it actually is. I think it's Warren Fentiman, but I might be wrong. So I want no more about this video. I'm actually going to tell you now who it is. So there's a very good chance that Warren Fentiman and Ed Walker could have a good day. Just give me 1 second and I'll be with you. Yes, it is. Which is, I'm a bit like keen on this. People having good days. Well, Warren Fentiman and Ed Walker could both have good days. Andrew Baldwin's also got some good runners today, but Sporting Silvermine. So what it's done, I can't really explain its latest run. Did they leave it short in work? Because I personally think that sometimes I like leading us down the garden path a bit, because you see horses running well, then all of a sudden they'll throw in a bit of a stinker. And I think sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture, because I don't think Lingfield was the aim for it last time. Yeah, it was even money favourite, but I think a lot of these things are just like tempo runs, prep races, just to get them ready for bigger races. Well, James Owen's done really well in these big races recently. Um, so what I'm thinking is, and I'm going by memory now, so the last run was at Lingfield, disappointed over 1 mile 3. Lingfield's a bit of a funny course on the turf. They could actually not handle it, and a lot of them actually run around Lingfield to see if they can handle Epsom. And I'm not saying that they're both the same, but Lingfield on the turf is a bit tricky. It's a bit undulating, and they can become unbalanced when they enter the home straight or turning for the home straight. I'm not saying this horse become unbalanced. It might just not have liked it that day, or it might have been left short of work. I don't know. But before that, it then ran at Newmarket, which was very interesting because I think that was just work. You know how they do work at home. I think that run at Newmarket over 1 mile 6, and obviously it's a stiff uphill climb, undulating course again. It was prominent throughout, pressed the lead to a certain degree, and I just don't think it stayed. But the good thing is, sensible thing is, they've dropped it a pound in the ratings. Well, I like that because I think it kind of proves to you that, well, maybe mentions that Newmarket and Lingfield, the most recent, weren't the prime targets. So the run before that is the most interesting. Um, the run before was at Chester. So I like the fact that it ran behind, and I can't remember the horse now. I did all the time. It's a very short named horse, 2 words. Small fry, I think it is. But I think that's decent form. It was off 78 and it ran to a racing postmark of 91. Well, if you're considering that the next 2 runs, one at Newmarket and one at Lingfield, were just tests or trials or maintaining fitness, well, you've got a very well handicapped foot horse that off 80 could run into like the mid 90s off his racing post rating. That tells me that I think if this horse runs just off the pace, probably slightly better than mid division, I think you've got a right chance. I think it's a very competitive race, and it's a more competitive race than it's actually took part in so far. But I do think there's reasons why it's not run that well in certain races. I think Chester was a a true performance for the horse. But I don't know if it went black then. My screensaver went on. But the next 2 runs, I think, were just. I think it was just trying to see what they'd got. So Sporting Silvermine is definitely an interesting horse. The next selection is American Bay. It's in the 350 at Haydock. I do like Paul Midgley. don't trust him one bit, but I do like Paul Midgley. I think he's dying to have a actual winner at York. It's been a while, I think, but in fact, I'm not sure if this one. No, that forget that. He likes a winner at York. I know it's not York, but a lot of his horses, he tends to enter them in the 5 and 6 furlong sprints, which that's what he mainly trains. But they always seem to be drawn near side when it's favouring far side. Well, that's irrelevant to this horse. What I am saying is that I think it will come good on one of these big days, and I think American Bay is well handicapped because it's been, like I mentioned last night, it was trained by Harry Charlton or Harry Eustace last year, and it was running well off of marks in the 80s. I believe it's off 76 today, even after winning last time. I think it was rated something like 70 or 73 the time when it ran. So it's not been up too much. It won well last time, and I think it could have a prominent run. It could run well. It's 5 places. It's not a great price. I think it's about 7-1, but if it wins, you start rubbing your hands. But at this point, you know where you are with the bet. The next selection is a horse that's come down in the ratings. It's still a classy horse, especially in handicaps. The horse is called Jumby, and it's in the 425 at Haydock, and they're paying 4 places instead of 3. I just think it's well handicapped, and at some point it's going to pop up. I remember seeing it regularly running listed and group races. I'm sure it used to be ridden by William Buick. He's not on it today. I think it's Charles Bishop. But I just think, how far down in class are you actually going to go until it starts? Not starts winning, but whether it wins one or yeah, starts a bit of a roll. I don't know, but it's never beaten too far, so I think it's got a chance. And I believe it's the final selection is Dissident. It's got an obvious chance. This has in the 445 at Sandown. Basically, it's been ridden over a mile, bred to one, at least this 1 mile too. Khalid Abdullah. It needs to be not out the first 4. I've got a blackbird running right towards me. Crikey, this blackbird is right stood pretty much right next to me. Come on then. Sorry. Yeah, and I forgot where I am. I'm literally a blackbird run straight up to me foot. It's going to because I normally feed it mealworms and calcium worms. But anyway, Dissident race. It should race prominently, and I think it should just keep staying. It reminds me of like the typical profile of those Fitzroy Hay horses um, where they're normally relatively no worse than mid division, but they just keep galloping. Well, in my opinion, it's the same with the Ralph Beckett horses and this Dissident. Hopefully, it should be not out the first 4 most of the way and then kick on and then just grind the leader down and stay on. Probably won't work out like that. It'll probably hold it up last and it'll be unlucky and running something daft like that. Then it'll end up winning a group race or something daft and you're thinking like, how the heck did it get beaten a handicap? But yeah, that's just racing. But Dissident, I expect it to race prominently and then show what it's got. Once it turns a corner and Sandown, it can be tricky to pass, depending what pace they've gone. And yeah, that's it. So after a sticky start to the video, I think we got a bit more fluent towards the end. So I wish you the very best of luck. Let me know if you fancy anything or if you're steering clear of all my selections. I've got a pound free bet. It's a, I think it's just, I think it's for France and England. I don't even know if it's male or female. I think it's I think it's the men, isn't it? But I haven't even placed that yet. But I don't even watch football hardly now. It's just I would normally watch it on Flash Score, watching that red dot come up. But anyway, I've looked at tomorrow's racing, and there's a horse I'm keen on at Market Raisin. It's a dreadful race. It's a dreadful horse. But at some point, it's going to pop up. The horse is called. Don't go back in it yet, because I want to see what price it is. I'm interested in a horse called Malangan. But I've tipped it in the past. I've tipped it in the past where I expected it to go to the front at Carlisle and go 20 lengths clear like it had been doing. Then all of a sudden they hold it up last. So I want to see what I like to look at once the market's been formed and try and work out if it's got a chance. So I wish you the very best of luck. These are the horse racing tips for Saturday. So Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.